This is the Underground World News Live here on this 8/3/2026. Good evening. Get the mic check in out the gate. Gotta thank Steely, Skeeby, A-Dub, Hopkinson. Hopefully I ain't missing anybody there. Thank you guys for the super chats right at the gate. Thank you for the quick feedback. John Boy, Deanne, Academy. Yeah, Sheepdog in the house. Justin, Pixie. Thank you, Kev Bar, for everything. Gisela, Paul, Scora, Crown Jewels in the house. Flip. D. White, thank you for everything, brother. EC, good to see everybody. Sharing is caring. And if you got anything to get to me, dabu7@yahoo.com is the email. Any stories, any images, videos, you can at me in the chat to get my attention. And again, thank you for all donations, any support for the channel, and sharing. Appreciate it to the fullest. Thank you, Dave. All right. Well, I hope all is good. Hope you're doing okay. I know the weather is kind of across the board out there. Everyone's dealing with different stuff. I see people that I follow, some of the cats I know, saying it's like in the hundreds. So I hope you're staying cool out there. It's not quite that hot out here where I'm at. But everything moves east, so I'm sure it's going to warm back up. All that's coming this way. I'm going to start off here up in space. I hope you guys got to witness some of the Perseids, the meteor showers that were going down. There may be some still lingering out there. If you got a clear sky, go out there. And all it takes is just paying attention, just looking up at the sky for a few minutes, man. I see stuff all the time. I'm not sure what to make of everything that I'm seeing up there, but there's a lot of action. I've yet to see any of this stuff. These sprites. If you guys, again, see anything like this, let me know and where from. These were caught over the Caribbean. And, yeah, you just never know when you're going to catch something like this. I've never seen sprites, something I'd like to see. And I've never seen auroras either. So, yeah, you're pretty lucky if you get to see some of those things. 105 there. Fire's all but out, though. Really, Steve? Wow. Are you guys dealing with big-time heat out there? On the space tip, as you can see in the title, we've got a pretty major event set to go down. And I mentioned this before, but we got more information. We've got the Falcon 9 upper stage abandoned in orbit since January 2025. It's going to hit the moon on August 5th at 5,437 miles per hour. It's projected to carve out a 100-foot crater. There's no way we miss this. It's happening on the lit side of the moon. Even though it's only going to be like half moon, it's still, you see right there where it says it's going to impact. They've got a ton of different crater names, but we're lied to about this stuff so much, man, that I think it's important to try to watch this stuff. Like, we could not see them going around the moon in the Artemis thing, which is super suspect. We should be able to witness this. And people all around the world should be able to listen in and hear the vibration of this impact. This is going to be pretty special, man. It doesn't happen all the time. So, I mean, people with instruments, they've got a heads up on this. They can lock into the moon, and you can hear the moon hum like a bell, reverberate like a bell, which shows that it's not solid. through and through, and that it's hollow. It's really where I base a lot of my info on that, is just the fact that I'm trying to stick with scientific data and some solid stuff here. Okay, well, if we can witness them smack something into the moon and then hear it, that's something to go with, you know? And thank you, Counting the Day, for the coffees. Much love. God bless. I appreciate that to the fullest. So, eyes to the skies here on this. If you guys capture anything, man, let me know. Man, R.I.P. Mike Morales, kart racer. We never used to have to worry about stuff like this because he would be on it. He would just hit him up on X or Twitter, and he'd be like, I'm already on it or whatnot. And he's greatly missed because he'd be all over this one. Again, an impact on the moon in a 100-foot crater. We should be able to not only witness this event, but forever there should be a mark, a scar on the moon. Just think about that. Much love, Pixie. Everybody out there. DN, thank you for everything. And a much love to everybody on all platforms tonight. We are spread out across multiple places out there. And turn that down some there. He fits. On to the next one. This is a pretty big one because, as I just tweeted out, we actually have death connected to this, or deaths connected. Here we've got. Let me look at the latest update I tweeted out here just a couple minutes ago. Michigan has become the first state to report 2 deaths linked to this cyclosporiasis. Cyclosporiasis. That is the name of this outbreak that came from Taco Bell lettuce and all that crap. It's done a number on Taco Bell, but it's spread to 45 states. Now, remember, they came out and said that the initial test on the lettuce that came back from the initial place was a false positive. But they said, go ahead and recall everything anyway. So we were stuck with a false positive pushing this whole thing, and it spread. And now you got deaths on top of this. So this is more than just a little stomach bug. This thing is spread again to like 45 states. It's dropping bodies. And it seems to be coming from fresh produce, is what they're saying. Now, that could be an attack, as I said before, on fresh produce, on farmers markets, on everyone that's looking to sell or exchange, barter the things that they've grown all summer or are growing. I expect them to attack this area at some point. They attack everything in terms of freedom. And this just fits their playbook, something that they would do. They're the only ones that really benefit from something like this. So as an investigator, I look back that way and I'm like, oh, okay, we have that too to go with here. It's not looking good. It popped up in all these sporadic pockets across the country. Again, they tried to say it was all lettuce going back to one place, but it's not checking out to be that way. There is something else that they said here. They cited Chipotle, the foot traffic dropping at Taco Bell by 20%, down big time. Thought it said something else here. So the iceberg lettuce was at the top, but they had mentioned, here it is, cilantro and parsley as causes in addition to the lettuce. So this is new. Cases in 9 states linked to contaminated lettuce. Again, I didn't said it spread to 40 some states. And then they said it was a false positive, while officials in North Carolina suspect parsley and cilantro as causes in addition to lettuce. So this is, hold on. This is not from one place that was dirty, got out of hand, and it was shipped out to all these places. That's not what we're dealing with. Much love, tacos. Jay Wedge. We now have proof and evidence that this is coming from all kinds of places. And why are they not like being upfront about this? So North Carolina suspects parsley and cilantro. Well, why? And like, were their tests done? I have tons of questions, which no one seems to want to supply here. It's really shady. This whole thing is. It's not good. We're under attack. I mean, we're constantly under attack from something. Just look at it that way. As soon as one thing ends, whether you realize it or not, something else is going on. Whether you know it or not, like something's being dropped in the air you breathe, or whether you know it or not, something's being put in the water that you breathe, or whether you know it or not, they're sparking fires out there to burn you out of this and that, or whether you know it or not, they're causing droughts and drying up all your water. And it's all one big attack. But these diseases just, again, it's like a big experiment. Let's jump into, I'm going to start jumping into some other stories here, one by one here. I want to point out that a new report ranks California as 35th in terms of being the best state, but it is the least affordable. So, lands at 35, it's going to cost you the most money, the least affordable. We have a logistical nightmare unfolding in Germany. Some people might not care, but it's a reflection of what's happening here. We have a nightmare here on the Colorado River, all the way down, all the waterways. Everybody that's been letting me know, thank you. I appreciate it. People just chiming in, sharing images or stories that the rivers are super low. And it's like everywhere. It's all over the place. Especially these places we've seen super high temps, mega drought. They're definitely playing this card. And it's not just here. Like I said, Germany, this is big time for them because they have a lot of ships that are carrying stuff, produce, and other things up and down this river. It's a main corridor. So, people depend on it for drinking water, but then when you get to dams and things like that, they depend on it for energy. That's the same thing here. You've got Lake Mead, you've got the whole Hoover Dam at like super lows. Again, when it gets to a certain point, there's going to be no water for people to consume, and definitely going to be rationed, just like the energy is. And then you're going to have no energy because the dam is what supplies it. The hydropower. So places like Vegas, they're going to get crippled. Like that dam goes down, like they're done. You have no water, like zero, it's done. And you have no power. Like if the dam was to get attacked, let's go TNT or something and blow a hole in it, it would cause massive disruption. You're talking, I mean, the stuff talked about before has been predicted, especially the Hoover Dam. We've known about this for some time. Some say it's what you see when you fold up your money. The dam is bursting. Others say it looks like it's water coming over a city, like a tsunami. Then, of course, you can fold it up and you get 2 towers smoking. Yeah, but it seems we've got a few things here yet to go down. There's an ominous plaque with some Nephilim or something at Hoover Dam. I've covered it in a video before in the past. There's always this occult stuff all over the place. But we are under weather warfare, man, and it's global. And it's feeding the fires, of which I'm going to get into here in a bit. I feel like that's talk about that later. I feel like it's all an attack for real. Cats, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it to the fullest. Unfortunately, in this one here, we have two helicopters that collided midair. You're going to see right here. And man, I don't know what they were thinking of that top pilot, but he's lucky his chopper didn't go down too. But he killed two people in the other chopper because he was just driving carelessly. It seemed like they're not paying attention. All right, let's jump into some economic stuff. Bitcoin, the crypto world. I seen some huge stuff today. Normally, when you see some of these cats talking about certain stocks or cryptos, depending on what they're saying, could be a good or a bad thing. But I seen Jim Rickards or whoever it was talking about. Forget his name. I don't think it was Rickards. It was Jim Cramer, which I can't stand. He was saying that they were going to get rid of all the Bitcoin because of this quantum thing. And I'm like, oh, really? You're putting it out there. I didn't know if they were trying to FUD the market or what, but Ryan, much love, man. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it to the fullest there. And this whole thing with Cold Card, it's like a hack. And they're not going to go away anytime soon. It's a massive hack. And 114 million was basically transferred in this whole thing. Now, some places flag this as being criminal because of the way it went down. With AI, knowing what to look for and all these certain things, they're saying that so much was transferred in small amounts so quickly that they registered this as being some kind of hack. And it checks out to be. So you've got CZ, which is the guy that runs Binance, warning that Bitcoin holders should know, man, that nothing is 100%. I mean, I don't even know what to say at this point. Like, you're not like safe holding this stuff like anywhere. Trade out there anywhere. Even with cold wallets. So all people used to say all the time, you can just store it in this thing and it's offline. No one can get it and get into it. Well, guess again. If it is electronic and there's a back door into it, someone's created, well then there's a way in. They made sure of it. They made sure of all this stuff before they even ever made it public. And that's all we see of these back doors left and right. It's pretty crazy. They're getting out of control, to be honest. Pete, man, thank you. Guys coming in big there, man. Super chat. I appreciate that. And Skibby. Big time. So a heads up, if you guys got any crypto out there anywhere, I've seen there's a lot of crap. There's just a lot of garbage with the crypto, man. Anymore. The only thing that I feel is worth the investment is the precious metals. And real quick, there, silver is at $58.99 right now. This evening, gold at $4,070, and they're kind of teetering right up here on this floor. I'm expecting something to happen, especially with whatever way this war goes. As soon as it's official. Just like official moves, like huge bombs drop, or like an official, as soon as Iran like truly agrees that like they're talking peace, because all this time they're like, no, we're not, Trump's lying. Like as soon as they come out and they admit like there's some real talks going on or something like that, and the bombs stop flying and all the stories stop, that is when I expect to see some kind of massive repercussion, because all the rest have been hit fakes. It's been like Groundhog Day this entire time, with Trump lying to everybody, and like so many people buying it all the time. All the markets buying it, like oil go up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. I mean, constantly. It's been months now. Months. And we're well past his warning. Trump warned us himself that we were 4 weeks away from disaster. The sitting president said that. Here we are well past that 4 weeks, and there's no end in sight of what's coming. So if this drops out into the 3000s, man, I don't, even if you've already bought in, and thank you, Kev Bar. He says, possession of tradable goods, precious metals are the only 100% commodities. You got that right. Thank you so much for that. Man, so much, guys. Thank you. More than you know. But if I was going to invest in anything, I'd be investing in this stuff. Copper as well. They don't list it here. They got platinum and palladium. Like, take your pick. If you're loaded up in one area, it doesn't hurt to snatch something else up. But if I was going to do anything, I'd go like 75, 80% silver at this point, and like a little gold myself. And then, small percentages of whatever else you pick up along the way. But hey, you are below $60 right now, and it may seem boring. That's when you buy. No one else is talking about it out there. Well, I am. That's when you buy. People are going to start talking about it. There's going to be stories posted. Once it breaks 100 again, breaks 120, sets an all-new high. Guess what? We're going to be double our money at that point. Yep. This thing's already give us 10x. All right, so like load up. The whole goal with silver is do everything you can, get as many ounces as you can. Set a goal for 50. Try to get 50 ounces, 100 ounces, whatever you can achieve. And we want to ride that out, because when the real explosion explodes, silver is going to end up landing up at like the between $1,000 and $1,500, which is huge. When gold explodes to like 25,000. But you're going to see silver do like way more. You're going to get way more X's, way more gains out of silver than you will gold at this point. It's the way it works. So you're really trying to catch knives on silver right now. Catch the bottom on it. Why? Well, the stock market is very shady. And we got some of the biggest guys out there. Now Charles Nenner warning that there's about to be a huge downturn. They don't just say these things. A lot of the guys I follow, they got reasoning. There's history. There's cycles that we've covered. And the legendary cycles land on 2026 this year for something to happen. Colleen, thank you so much. Real estate, gold, silver, but also supplies for trade. The Amish are good to know too. Hey, on point, on the money, right there. You got that right. Anything that you can do out there, bartering, doing things, any kind of little trade, craft, people growing stuff. Yeah, it's to get in at the flea markets and stuff like that's huge. But I'm going to tell you, there's going to come a time where they're going to try to attack it all. They want everything on a blockchain. So, one of the last places you're going to see that, and the people don't want it there, is at a flea market or at a market with food or something like that. Yard sales, all that stuff. No one wants to see that. But they'll send cops out at some point trying to enforce it, or they won't give you an opportunity, is what I'm fearing. One big event, they hold your money hostage. They're going to force everybody onto this digital currency. And it's not going to be a CBDC. It's not the avenue they're going to take here. You get a whole different plan. I've said this a million times. We're now in the window. Warsh's in there for the Fed. The Mar-a-Lago Accord can be implemented. It's obvious Trump is wrecking the entire global markets. It's all on purpose with this whole Hormuz thing. And everyone's about to feel the heat. Like, they're about to feel the heat. I got a couple big things about to show you here, like big dogs saying some important things here, but this is one of them. He's saying the cycles are lining up just as they did before 1929. And, the biggest catalyst here could be the AI bubble. I'm telling you now, because, people are broke. And, like, who else are they waiting on to show up to throw money at AI? All the big dogs, tech dogs, all that, they're already invested. They're already there. Like, when you milk out society so much, this is where it comes back to bite you. Yeah, the whole ploy with stocks is try to get all these people to buy in, all the lemmings, the sheep buy in, and then the big boys dump off top. It's exactly what he just did. Elon just did with his IPO. Like clockwork. It's every single time, I'm telling you. Just steer clear of that crap. Only buy bottoms. Never FOMO into anything. It's because everyone's talking about it. It's always the top. It always blows off, and people get hurt every single time. And like, we're there. AI is all the rave. It is the .com thing of right now. And even though the technology is still gonna unravel, like, sell-offs and bubbles pop before most people can get a grasp on it. That's why I think it's going to happen sooner or later. It's going to happen before people can figure it out. They want to get the most money out of everybody. They don't want you figuring it out and selling, because then they get less money. They want you feeling confident that we're all-time highs. The market's just chugging along. And that's exactly what Trump's been saying. But that is the perfect climate for disaster. Anyhow, just got another economic guru out there saying stuff that he doesn't always say. GameStop, the shares plunge. This is one people were getting into because pump and dumped. And that's what they do. And we're getting away with it. People. Oops. See if I get my mic back there. All right, mic's back. People were just when GameStop would dump out, just waiting a little bit. Right now, it's dumping out. Look, let me teach you a little something about these things. Okay, so we come down, and what do we got? We come down, we do an initial bounce, and we set a floor. Triple taps are what you always want to be watching for. Okay, so this thing is heading downhill. You can tell because it came up. It didn't even match the high before up here, and it came down and it tested this floor right where it hit, and it's the exact same spot. Okay, so we got to touch, and we've created a line. We've created a floor. Okay, so you get a head fake, like a dead cat bounce here off the bottom, and it touches again. Okay, so this is like double tap. Depending on how you look at it, you can say, okay, it could be triple tap. It didn't fall through. If it doesn't fall through, it's bound to have a decent bounce in it. But that bounce went up. It came nowhere near the peak before it. It was weak and it tapered off. So this is where you're looking for what you call the triple tap here. After the floor is established, you're going 1, 2. On the third tap, this is normally what happens. And this is up or down. If you're in a bull market heading uphill and you're hitting the ceiling and you're trying to get through it, and it hit it and it fell back, and it ran up and hit it again and it fell back, chances are that third time it's going through. If it doesn't, if it fails on that third time trying to climb, if it falls off dramatically. So, this is just like clockwork. These are basics that you see all the time in this. It's exactly what it did. So you could look at this like, in freak out mode, but I've learned that in these times, when you see something like this, that should present an opportunity. What does that do? Watch it. It could continue to dump further, but it could, at some point, it's gonna have to catch it and bounce up. Look at all these spots. Look at everything bounces up. Something you just want to catch that bottom, but then you want to exit. See, I'm not all about. There's two different ways of doing this. You can do the long trading, or you can do like day trading, the quick trading. And Both got different risks. Kind of long trading, you can buy something to stow it in the vault and forget about it, right? And really not much of a trade to it. You're just kind of long holding for potentially years, right? Go buy you some XRP or something and sit on it for years, right? If you're going to do the crypto thing like that. But if you're a day trader, you're out here looking for these little spurts, and you're looking for the ups and the downs and how to time them. And that's where all the money's at, is timing that. And dudes are setting longs and shorts and all this other stuff out there and making a killing off leverage. And that's possible too. But you can also lose your tail. You got to know what you're doing. On to the next one. Keep us pushing. Let's talk about Venezuela oil. We're in a crisis right now. And I'm going to play a clip here in a minute that one of the top guys out there is talking about where we're sitting. And he's very critical, I could tell, not to create panic. But I've got a bunch of information on the back end. There's so much of it, I'm not even all the way through it. I'm dropping like a monster bit of video, like here in the next day or so, as soon as I get all this together on what's coming. And it ties into all this. And you can see here, there's a problem with the Venezuelan oil. Everyone thinks that we got Venezuelan oil and then we got our own oil. Well, we're selling at a massive rate. Our reserves are at a low and they're not restocking them. Huge problem. And the Venezuela oil is not good oil. It's pretty low grade. And you just cannot get certain blends out of certain oils. That's the thing. Now, when refineries around the planet are getting hit and knocked offline and everything else in this war, it creates a bigger problem. California shut a bunch of our refineries here and said we're just going to depend on refineries from other countries and things like that. And people are like, what? You have, I've explained this before, cities in like Arizona and like Nevada that depend on a certain mix. They come from California, the fuel. Their whole town and cities are based on that certain mix. And if you can no longer get that mix, your whole infrastructure is screwed. Straight up. That's the truth. You need to look into it if you're out there and you see all this happening. I really don't see how a place like Vegas, again, that dam goes down. I don't see how you live there. I don't see how anyone survives there. There'll be zero water and like no power, no water. I mean, things like that ran full-blown civilizations off, man. And they're like creating the atmosphere. Make a drought. They're the ones cutting the water supply off. Low snowpack, all of it. It all tracks back to them. They have the power to fix this, man. They can make it snow. They can make it rain. They can put desalination plants up and pump fresh water all across this country. But they don't, because they're evil minions. We could fix a lot of things real quick if righteous men were in power. That's for sure. We don't have that. We're not there. Instead, you got Trump out here getting us in wars and going wherever he wants and doing whatever he wants. And we're going to feel the blowback. You watch. And it's not going to be pretty. Whether it's lights out, economic crash, combination of all of it, it's coming. It's coming sooner than later. Guarantee that. So look at this next one. I think this next one. This is Trump putting another warning out. I told you before, he loves to threaten everybody. And if he doesn't get his way, he writes an executive order, right? I told you also how with the whole Jones Act waiver, they're able to manipulate everything around the country and they're rigging everything. They set a whole deal on the egg prices. They made a whole deal with the meat. Okay? And he's yelled at the gas stations, gas companies once before, and now it's a second time. You can see right here, get the gas prices down now. He's like threatening them like on social media, over on Twitter or whatever his Truth Social is. Because 87 octane gas, the pump, is at like 409 on average across the country. And 4 is a political sensitive area, they say. And I'm going to tell you, man, this is all set up. The price is not coming down around the world. I know some of you can see what this means. It's not coming down. And with Hormuz locked up, it's not coming down anytime soon. It's going to continue to rise. And guess what? We're living in a fantasy land. Because Trump says so and is making it this way right in front of your face. Right in front of everyone's face, man. And as I keep saying, when we snap back to those prices that are going to be way high, it's going to crush this place. Crush it. But that's what he was sent to do. And you're watching it happen right in front of your face. Again, he is barking at the gas stations. They even made these freedom fuel centers and rolled them out in like Philadelphia and Baltimore or something. Government-backed gas stations where they were selling gas at $2.50. And people are like, what are you doing? And they were hoping the rest of the gas stations will catch on and they'll be patriotic and they'll do it. Psh, get out of here. You think those gas stations are taking a loss for you for a second? No way. Like, Trump is hollowing out this country. Everyone's going bankrupt. Like, this whole place is done for. Can't you see? He's resetting it, bankrupting it. Truly bankrupting it is what he's doing to reset it. Why wouldn't he? At this point, it's where we're at in the stage. It's the only thing left to do. You know, I'm just letting you know the game's rigged. Okay? The prices are rigged. Don't you forget it. This is a perfect example of it, man. People are living in a false reality out there. And like, we crossed the Rubicon. We're in like uncharted territory now, and this is the way it is. Wasn't like this a few months back. Wasn't like this last year. Wasn't like this any other time in history. We are in uncharted territory right now, truly. And people are just lackadaisical. I'm telling you, you better stock up on some goods. Stock up. Stock up. Straight up. Don't do it, you know, no need to panic. But, like, you should see yourself as being ahead of the curve here, and I'd do it. Don't just hear, like, oh, another warning. Like, no. Like, at no other time we haven't had a climate like this. So when you see climates like this, you stock up. When you see the storm clouds gathering. Okay, or not. Okay, so, again, you might want to go over that mountain house. See how old it is. You got stored up. Make sure you got some kind of backup, some rice, stocked up something, because lack of all these things is coming. All of it. So I just wanted to show you. There's Trump threatening gas stations once again. AI. We're in a fight with China. China seems to be taking the lead and jumping out in front, left and right. So they're showing us. It's all a puppet show. I'm going to tell you that if the United States takes a hit and they put our lights out, they win. You see how much the whole entire world will change and shift. It won't be like they're the big number one leaders of the world. It's not how it'll be. They're already telling us and showing us what it's going to be. A multi-fronted New World Order. Not one dictated by the United States, but where you're going to have a basket of things, basically. Multi-powers out there. And it's exactly what they've been saying and telegraphing this entire time. And it's projected that China's going to take this lead over as the United States falls. And it's like happening in slow motion. The AI front, they'll probably win here. Again, I see us getting attacked and hit in this country because of all the circumstances going on right now. Way before I see China getting hit in their own country and their lights getting put out. So, again, if our lights get put out or we get attacked, China wins this whole thing. They win the AI race, It shifts. I don't believe in the whole thing about, though, whoever wins this race, they control the world. But that's not necessarily true, because countries got to adopt their technology. And does every country necessarily trust the Chinese tech? Because I don't. I don't trust none of the crap. I'd rather us make like our chips here in this country, because we have a problem. China's embedded in all of our electronics. They're in all of our infrastructure. They have control of the cranes in our ports, and our country could do nothing about it. They own property right next to our military bases, and Trump does nothing about it. Christopher Wray, they're in our water. They're in the electric grid. They're everywhere. It's like, why didn't you do anything about it? Because it's set up. Someone has to take the responsibility for this in the end. And it's going to track back the history books. It's going to track back to Russia and China on the other end. Definitely China, more than anything. And as I've said before, North Korea could play big, because they have the EMPs to do it. And they are the fall guy. United States licked them with the nuke, and then that's it. It's done. No more nukes. Have to be a mini nuke or something. They would hit them back. If we got EMP, they'd surely strike them hard and wipe Kim Jong-un off the map. I feel like that's whether he really is. They put him in hiding or they take him out or whatever. I feel that's what he's there for. Why else do you leave a dude over there that's insane, popping off rockets, that has nukes, and you act like you don't care about him? He's flaunting, he's flexing, he's putting every single missile launch. You have no idea. He puts Japan, South Korea, everybody, our allies, at risk, every single launch. Yet, they don't even care about him. They don't even care about him. Like, that makes no sense. How can you care about this regime in Iran and them holding nuclear components? Not even the full-blown weapon yet, or this and that. But you don't care one bit about this dude popping off all these missiles. I don't get it. Again, it's a setup. From all I can tell, it's just they're leaving him there for a reserved reason, a moment in history. So here's one. VC money, venture capital money, flows into U.S. nuclear startups. This is going to be the way they power most of the AI places. And it's nuts, because I talked about a company before that was going to put little mini nuclear plants all over the place on campuses and this and that. But now they're going to put them on bases. They're going to put them anywhere and everywhere. And it's all nuclear. And it's nuclear is all I can say. And when a disaster happens, an accident happens at one of these places because they put it in the wrong spot, put it right on a fault line, I don't know, anything. I don't want to hear it. Free energy is the way. Tesla energy, this government, this world, the beast is never going to give it to us, it seems, because I'm telling you, the whole world could be ran on a free energy grid. It's how Atlantis was ran and all that. And they know this. Tartaria was running off this whole system. It was healing, natural, energetic energy, free energy around the world. And they dismantled the whole freaking thing. And we get to suffer now and be their slaves on this rigged game off this garbage electricity when we could just pull it right out of the ether. But you dare do it, the man's going to come after you. And how much garbage is that? You know it's garbage. We're all in the slave game. The question always is, who has the kahunas to rise against the beast? I salute all that do. In these data centers, as I said before, when it come down to Terminator and John Connor and Sarah Connor, or whatever their names are, I'm not a big movie guy, but I seen the clips and it blew me away. I seen the clip that it showed, you know why they locked Sarah up in the movie, right? Or put her in the insane asylum? Because she was attacking the data centers. She was attacking the data hub, the heart that made all of it possible, the information center, Call it whatever you want. She was attacking them. She was showing you. They were showing you. It was right there. And they threw her in the nut house because of it. Dude, they showed us all this way before, and we are right there. We are right where it all culminates and comes together. Isn't that crazy? Like, when I seen her smoking a cigarette and then I seen the clip and all this, I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, dude, they showed it. Like, they knew. This whole time. And like, this is real. What was the thing that, let me stop right there. What saved the day in all of Terminator? The fact that there was one good one. You better go find you, make you, build you that one good one. Somebody better somewhere, because you're going to need it against droves and droves of Terminators. Because that is exactly what we are up against. The dawn of killer robots. As you see there, well, it's here. And a U.S. startup is working to make this all feasible 100%. And it's here. I've talked about a couple of different versions. You know, Elon's got one, but this MK1 is official. It's out here. And it's made for manufacturing applications and military applications. And let me tell you, it can do it all. They can do whatever. China is doing the same thing. They're matching. Anything that we're doing, of course, they're matching. I'll play a couple clips here real quick. You can see this thing.
Foundation, a robotics firm, stunned the defense world with its Phantom MK1 priced at approximately $150,000 per unit. Foundation Robotics CEO Sanket Pathak offered a detailed look into the strategy behind his company's dual-use humanoid robots, designed for both factory work and military support. This is the most direct acknowledgement from any major U.S. humanoid robotics CEO that their platform is being considered for active weaponization. For military support, the MK1 features lightweight ballistic composite plates with a matte black anti-reflective coating, making it harder for enemy infrared sensors to pick up the heat generated by its processors. While most humanoid robots rely on complex hydraulics, the Phantom MK1 uses proprietary electric cycloidal actuators. These are the muscles of the machine, capable of delivering a peak torque of 160 Newton meters. Standing 1.75 meters tall and weighing roughly 80 kilograms, the MK1 is a beast of burden, handling a 20-kilogram payload and a walking speed close to 1.7 meters per second. Foundation has explicitly leaned toward a camera-first perception stack and a large language model's hybrid AI tasking layer, rather than piling on LiDAR and other ranging sensors. Unfortunately, the company also hasn't published every internal spec on the public datasheet, such as the exact CPU or GPU model. Overall, those combined choices make a robot like Phantom more useful for military support than a factory-only machine.
Man, this thing was made for the military. Let's just take a look at what it just said. It just said that some things that stood out to me was it has a cooling system feature built in within it, meaning that it cools it down so it can hide its heat signature from the enemy. That's exactly what it just said. So they already know, it already knows that it will be hunted in that sense, that a heat signature is critical and critical to hide. These things are so advanced already coming at right out the gate that people are really going to have to find ways to deal with this. You have to. You can't ignore it. You have to openly start talking about how you deal with taking these things out. And it might do well if people could get their hands on one just to do experimentation. Like, you have to know what you're working with. If we could get one for a weekend, test it, do all these things. Like, we got to find its weaknesses. We got to find what stops it, what can demobilize it, what the best all of this is. Because once it's in the battlefield and it's weaponized, it has guns on it, lasers on it, it has all the sensors and apparatus to pick you up 1,000 yards out, hear your heartbeat, hear you breathing. Are you kidding me? See your heat signature. Like, we're sitting ducks against this. Stuff a normal human would never be able to do. I've said it before. A Tesla rolls up and 5 of these bots jump out. People are smoked. Neighborhoods are smoked. I don't care if you got vets in it, you got Navy SEALs, Marines. It doesn't matter who it is. You have to have a plan and the means to deal with this. It's going to be bad news. You think China's, man, they look ominous. They're like all blacked out. The stuff that they've got going under theirs, no doubt, is crazy. Top who will be John Connor. That's been said so many times to me over the years. It's actually been said to me so many times over the years. It's crazy. High heat will melt electronics. I like the way you think, Steve. Hey, well, it was just talking about having a cooling system to deflect heat and all this other stuff. Oh, it needs to be tested. Anybody got one of them old Elon flamethrowers on them? We got to do something here. And I'm telling you, military wise, they're going to be bulletproof. I mean, all the ones Elon's making are going to be bulletproof. Let me get a refresh here on the stream here real quick. Where are we at? Top of the hour. I seen whenever I see the stream count freeze on me or whatever, everything kind of freeze up. I'd like to get a refresh. All right. Here we go. So you're going to need, someone says we need EMP grenades and munitions yesterday. Yeah, like you need zappers. We need things that can fry them, right? Truly. We need those type of things that can fry them. That's going to be the best thing, right? Or, knock a limb off. You knock a leg off, it ain't doing much, right? That's what I'm thinking. Hit it in its hip, knock a leg off, hit it in its knee, whatever. Hit it in its ankle, Achilles heel. It's not walking. It's not going far, right? The old Achilles heel, right? Take its legs out. Now, hog tie damn thing. I don't know. I mean, these are metal. These things we've seen them doing karate kicks and accidentally hitting people and like messing people up bad. This isn't like getting hit by a human. It means it's all metal. It's going to break anything it hits on a human instantly. Like, it's going to hurt them bad, especially if it's swinging with intent and force and it's coming to kill. It's coming to subdue you. Can you imagine one of these things trying to chase you down, get its hand on you? You ain't breaking that grip. And then it dives on you. And then it's hundreds of pounds of metal on top of you. It's probably going to crush and kill you right there. Like, even in policing, like, they're going to have to watch it here. These things are going to be super deadly. Just by default, like I just said. Just in a chase. These things, man. I don't even know, man. It changes the whole dynamic of survival because they're being mass produced quickly. They no longer have to like talk mankind into going out and killing or hunting down their own kind. They got something that would ask no questions and would do whatever it's told to do. It will hunt whatever it's programmed to hunt. I instantly think you should find a legion that's evil and hack them. There's your answer. Find the back door in. Where's the hackers? They're going to be very valuable here because we're going to have someone maybe even our own AI that fights for the good guys that can go in and find the back door for us and get in and start taking over all these bots. You ever think about that? Where there's a will, there's a way. Skiby, thank you so much. Yeah, and for anyone just sliding in, please do me a favor. Even if you think you've been subscribed to me for a long time, please go look and see. Make sure you're subscribed because, man, I found out today that a bunch of people that I was following, that I watch vids all the time, I was unsubscribed and I had to hit subscribe. And these days it does this big thing and blows up and like there's this little firework thing when you do it. And it's I don't know if subscriptions are getting reset, if they're just unsubscribing people. And also check the bell notification because if you don't have that checked, they're not going to send you anything. So you may be subscribed, like, oh yeah, I'm subscribed. But if you don't have the bell notification checked off, they're not going to send you a notification. Know that. You may think that that's crazy. Since you subscribed, you should get notified. Nope. Less than 20% of all YouTube channels out there realize this and have the bell notification on. And I'm sitting right at the same statistic, right under 20%. It'd be nice to get that up, but the only way to do it is for you guys to know and to realize that you don't even have the thing checked. So if you want to make sure you're getting notified, getting emails for my live streams, my videos I drop, usually twice a day, check it, make sure. And again, thank you guys tonight for any of the super chats, for sharing, for any coffees, any PayPals. All the support is appreciated to the fullest. I'm going to turn a page here at the top of the hour and dive into the next section of news, which is a naked man jumping off a 200-foot Brooklyn bridge. Why he did it, no one really knows, but he lived, which is the crazy thing. I'm not going to show the footage. There's a still, and you can't tell that he's naked or anything in it, but he jumped off the bridge and he lived. So, I mean, in those days, man will seek death but cannot find it. That's what it reminds me of. Huh? Huh? Yeah, so gunman. A gunman, should I say, here in this instance. And let me give a shout out here real quick to J-Max on the coffees there. Much love. God bless. An unfortunate situation at a Tesla dealership / also it ended up going into an In-N-Out burger. All this in Idaho, Twin Falls, Idaho. A gunman targets these places. He hit this vehicle first. You see the gunman here. We believe that there was no one in these vehicles here that was shot, but people were killed in this whole thing. And in the end, the gunman is said to have taken his own life. So there were some misconceptions out there about someone that engaged him, that might have shot him and killed him. And I've looked into this pretty deep because people were like, hold on, that's a whole different guy with the gun in this other clip. And it was apparently a guy shooting at him. Like, see this guy right here? They're saying that this guy was the true hero because people are like, oh, that's a whole different guy right there. And I'll play this clip. See, taking shots. Got the silencer there on it. He's shooting at the guy and he goes diving into the bushes. Everyone's like, what are we witnessing? Of course, when you don't know what you're looking at, you don't know what you're looking at. This was a shootout. People heard gunshots, seen people standing there with guns. No one knew who the good guy or the bad guy was that was driving by. So people were just freaking out like, what the? And, well, this guy was labeled a hero. so to speak. Um, and many were saying, this guy, killed the bad guy. Well, that's not what happened. He might have been a hero for standing up to him. Can't take that away from him at all. He says he trained his entire life for this exact moment. And think about it, if you're someone out there that has trained forever, for this type of a situation, it all pays off in this instance. Now, he didn't kill the guy, but he did. I don't know, he might have hit him in it, but they say that the guy died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Okay, so this guy didn't kill him. But nonetheless is a hero for standing up and riding. This is why it pays to always have someone around you that's caring, that can protect you and everyone else. To me, the gun-free zones are nothing but a sitting duck zone. And if this would have been all one big gun-free zone and this guy would not have had a piece on him and all that, then the bad guy gets to run around indefinitely, like until someone with the piece shows up and starts firing back. And it wasn't until this guy started firing back and started putting some return fire on the guy that the guy gave up. So it wasn't even local police. But again, if this guy wouldn't have been there and they had to wait for police and he wouldn't have engaged him, how many more people would have died? So, salutes to anyone out there in that position that steps up and defends local citizens. Salutes to that. So he's definitely a hero for stepping up and doing something that not many other people would have done. On to flock cameras. And in this one, a North Carolina police officer is arrested for allegedly illegally using the flock cameras. And this is another story here. It says out of Charlotte here, this Seth Elliott facing a misdemeanor charge of illegally accessing a government computer. Elliott, who started working with the department in 2024, accessed the flock system, and CJ Leads, a criminal justice database used by law enforcement in North Carolina. He did it one time for non-law enforcement purposes so they can see and track all this stuff. Police officer was placed on unpaid leave pending the outcome of an internal investigation. It's just another example, though, of this going down. But like this next one, a Wichita man. And then they just chopped off 40. We had 906 watching, and they chopped it down to 850. So there we go. We got 50 chopped right there. It just keeps happening. I can't get through a stream with that happening. And every time it happens, I have to point it out. It's not natural to 50 people to get chopped off your streaming. They do it to me religiously anymore. And I'm just going to put a spotlight on it. So they just did it again. Let's see if we can make it back up to 900 and something and see if they chop it again like they just did. And I knew this would be the place because earlier we were froze and we were froze right at 8. My whole thing was froze at 850, 852. Here we are. So a Wichita man sues the city. Let this go to the Supreme Court. This has to make it to the Supreme Court. And we need it to, big time. We had a ruling that went out that ruled against, let me see if I got it here on my main feed. I don't think I do. I'm going to have to go to my X feed here at the end of the stream. We'll skim that through there. And I've got a ton of stuff that relates to all these stories, footage, extra stuff. We'll take a look at all that. It ends up that there was 3 dead, 2 injured. And the whole Twin Falls thing is a final update there. And with the whole flock thing here, I was trying to find an article that had a ruling on surveillance and what it what it does for our rights. Like they ruled in our favor, and they were like, "Well, then apply this next to the flock cameras," and that's why I was thinking about it because um, this has to go to the Supreme Court. As you can see here, there's 200 cameras in Wichita, and this guy's saying they're against all of us right. I agree, but every city's different. But if the Supreme Court just rules flat out, then you can put an end to all this. You don't have to play this game in all these places. So, oh, here it is. The Supreme Court just ruled 6-3 that police pulling your phone's location is a search. Okay? That's a search. Let me break this down because this is huge. And I do believe that this applies here massively. Supreme Court ruling 6-3 that police pulling your phone's location is a search. So that makes it, if it's not under a warrant, illegal. That puts every single flock camera in the country on notice now. And because they're doing just that, this whole system needs to crumble and come down. And it should. It's trending in the right direction. So I was telling you, the Supreme Court needs to take this up through and through. Well, the ruling right there, just on that case right there, shows it. Like, unless they want to issue a warrant for all this use, which it doesn't look like they're going to do, and like the people should get buck if the Supreme Court ever tried to do that. They got to stand for the people, and this is against your rights. It's illegal search and seizure and all this other stuff, and tracking and all this other criminal stuff. A database housing your information that should not be out there. So let's go to this next story. Jump at some of the crazier stuff here. We've got a man that is shot dead by cops, but first he kidnaps a former investment partner, stuffs that person in the trunk, pulls over during this whole thing with the police, shoots the guy in the trunk, and that's how he ends up dying. But then the police shoot that guy and kill him. So both of them end up dead. Both Chinese men named Bo, oddly enough. This took place in Chino Hills, California. It's an odd situation. I'm not going to play the footage because it does show the guy getting shot. But the FBI announcing Operation Blackout takes down 4 of the largest scam compounds on Earth. I'm sure they've had information on this connected to this for a long time. And I just don't trust anything. Let's jump to the wildfires. Washington State. This is horrific. And it's, as I dropped in the videos earlier, I got to ask the question, do you know anything about it? And I say it that way for a reason. Do you, DEW? Because of the whole situation. I'm going to show you here on the screen. This is the video that I dropped earlier. I'm gonna point out some key things. Stop playing the video. I'm just gonna recap the key stuff. You have entire neighborhoods. They have houses that have been burnt to like white ash with all the vegetation, trees, even dead leaves. So the crap with all this water and the trees that are standing, and that's why they don't burn. Well, none of that holds up, man. When the other trees are burnt, all the rest of the forest that burnt down had water in it too. Like, people just, when the simple things standing right next to an inferno, what's supposed to be an inferno, do not go up in flames. like the blue trash can again. Racist questions. Some people are like, well, the houses that burnt down there, they might have had metal roofs. Well, these don't have metal roofs here. That the ones that didn't, they didn't. They didn't have metal, and they didn't have blue roofs, which is the key thing we've talked about before. I would make sure you have a blue roof if you can, for sure, because of these crazy situations. Let me say this. There are mailboxes, metal mailboxes, and I'll show the clip, I guess, when I have to, because you can't see it in this image. And the metal mailbox is melted, but you can see through the melted metal. There's a hole, and it's a perfectly fine Amazon package with the blue Amazon strip in the middle. You can see it clearly and perfectly. And then you look like right next door, and there's a car melted down to like melted metal, melted metals, melted glass, all these things. And then right next to it, things that are like unsinged. Like I said, a blue trash can just sitting there, not even melted. Should have melted away. For sure. It's plastic. But it didn't. And it's like, hold on. Like what's going on? Also, let me point this out. You can see in this image the old trail fire. The old trails fire. It's level 3. It's all through here. And this happens to be West Plains. This is exactly where a planned data center is going. Right here. Right here. You can't make this stuff up. And there are over 450 different homes that had smart meters in this area alone that we know of. Could have been more, but at least 450 smart meters connected to this area. And this whole region of Spokane is on the list for smart cities. Yeah, Spokane, Nevada, tomato, you grammar Nazis. So, I mean, Spokane feeling it. Shout out to D. White. All my cats out there keeping me in the loop on this. But open up this video. Hopefully you can see here on the screen everything torched up, metal, and then there is there's the prime, the blue prime label right through the whole melted metal cardboard box inside. Like, again, the Smart City Challenge. Here's all the smart cities out there, places, and you have Spokane on the list. I'm going to call it Spokane the rest of the stream just to piss some of you off that want to be grammar Nazis. Got all this going on when I come in the comment section and say it's pronounced Spokane. Okay, never mind, all the other crazy crap that we're seeing here. You want to be a grammar Nazi. So that's why I say that. Look at that. Look at this. How can you have reduced to white ash all around, and then a house feet away, like literally. A lot of it just raises questions. All the melted stuff, all the metals melted down. I mean, I smelt metals. I know what it takes to melt metals, man. The heat generated. And then plastic bottles, leaves, blue trash cans, just sitting there unsinged, not even remotely anything. It just it raises questions. So, do you have any answers? Because there's a lot of questions. And you can see these fires, man, raging. Just look at that. Look at these guys like driving through this, going through this, man. Apocalyptic for sure. Anytime you're dealing with a fire, I've had to deal with wildfires, man. I've been trapped inside of it. It cut me off, and I had to go dive into a spot, um, diving and just rolling down the mountain. Um, Look at this: thousands of fish. Boyd State Park in Colorado, dying right there. I've got a bunch of these clips over here. Again, this is Vernon, BC. I'm telling you, we're being torched. The whole planet is. Vernon, BC. These places are on the water. Cabins on the water. Homes on the water. You're on the water, and you still can't fight it. Look at this. All these places just getting torched. All of them gone. Boom. Gone, gone, gone. Everywhere, man. It's everywhere. Look, all of Spain was on fire. All of France on fire. Yeah, man. So, prayers going to everyone out there that needs them. I know it's rough. An emergency declaration has been announced in Spokane, and it is a level 3. Go now, leave immediately. It was already that. It's already been the fire's done come and gone in most of these places and gutted a ton of these places. So I feel for everyone out there. I mean, look at all these fires just in this region. What is going on here, man? Well, it's not too hard to spark a fire when you set the whole region up in a drought, which is what we started with. Then bring in, 100-degree temperatures all over the place on top of it. Remember, the sun drives wind, and it also rekindles and resparks fire. So any fire that was put out overnight, the sun can reflame it, reignite it, just shining on it. Believe it or not. Yes, it can. It's a tricky ball game. And again, the wind is driven by the sun. So with the sun out there, baking temperatures and all that, it's fueling all those, believe it or not. Large scale. Just look at this. Look at the Paradise, Horse Ridge, Bob Creek, Fox, Deep Canyon, Pilot, the Egypt Fire, Coleman Creek Fire, Jackass Butte, Big Grass, Grasshopper, the Autumn Lane, Kaiser Canyon, Little Giant. I mean, just running out of nicknames for these things. There's so many. Yep, if you got one in your neck of the woods, man, keep an eye on it. Brings me to the next big thing. To fight a fire, you need water. I told you earlier, this is set up. And we should have water everywhere. Desalination plants ran through this place. Just water everywhere. They can make it rain. They have the power to do it. Well, we got a different situation here with our municipalities getting attacked. Our water municipalities. This started off out of Minnesota and started off with just one report. But it was rather large. 30 different places hit within Minnesota. So it was okay, it's pretty big. But then it grew throughout the week to 5, then 7. And at last that I counted, it was at least 8 that we know of. In the feds not wanting to name all the states. The only reason we know a handful of them are because those states decided to come out and say something. I believe Tennessee was one of the most recent. Michigan was the one that came out and said something after Minnesota. They said something themselves, and then I believe South Dakota. The rest are a mystery right now because the feds haven't said anything. Unless those states want to step up and make a statement publicly, we're in the dark, which I think is garbage. This is widespread. Our water infrastructure is being attacked. You know what they admit in this? They admit that they seized control of all the chemicals, all the levers, all the valves, how much water is distributed, how much of everything. This is bad. It's super bad. It's super bad. It's spreading. The attacks are spreading. And water is heavily targeted. So I don't know, your town, your city could be next. If you have any issues, you might want to look into it. We got so much going on, you know. Is there even going to be any water left after all these data centers, all is said and done? Such a setup. All right, let's go to the next one. This is Wisconsin. In Madison, we have apparently a fresh autonomous zone sprouting up. A leftist activist, so to speak, here, creating this autonomous zone, and I'll play a clip here that kind of shows someone walking up through here, and then I'll play a news clip on it real quick. See here, it's kind of empty there, but I don't know, maybe it comes alive at night. Like we see 2 or 3 people there. All that stuff just sitting there, but let's see what this says.
You could see just how much the encampment has grown at the site where Corey was shot and killed by Madison police. Protesters have put up a number of tents here. They have people essentially running checkpoints at each side of the encampment, checking who's coming in and out of this site. They even have tire spikes in the perimeter. The city has also put their own salt trucks on one end of the intersection, and they've also scheduled garbage pickup for residents in the area as well as people inside of the encampment.
I can't say, what it's all costing, but I'm sure we'll find out.
But there is, a price tag to keep something like this going.
Certainly. So when we have those salt trucks going, there's overtime involved, certainly. And with any of these other services, yes.
I reached out to Madison's mayor for an interview, which her office declined at this time. But in statements that were released to the public, it said that her office is working to come up with a peaceful resolution to all of this while still honoring Corey. But protesters that I've spoken with here tell me they're not going anywhere until the officer involved in this shooting is facing charges.
So that's what you have there. We seem to always have one of these incidents, going down in a city somewhere. Let's go to the UK real quick. Shout outs to Daz, Crown Jewels, all the fam over there. You unfortunately have a high court here moving to ban the display of the English and the British flags, which you may be like, what? Look. What do you do when your government comes out and says you can't fly your American flag out there? I mean, what does the government even represent anymore in the UK? It's so ass backwards. And everything else there, like they're attacking their own people. They're supporting the migrants. It's all ridiculous. And I just can't stand it, man. And thank you, Edward, for the coffee. Appreciate it to the fullest. Tyrannical governments all over the world. Let's jump into our politics here real quick. Jay Clayton becomes the top U.S. intel chief. He is basically the replacement officially for Tulsi Gabbard. Remember, Tulsi was in there. And, well, I told you what they do. They put the popular faces and names out there, and they replace them with no-namers you've never heard of, and that's part of the magic trick. And it's exactly what they did here. And they're like, literally, how there won't be any news with this no-namer, no-facer type of individual, which is how they want it folded back into the cut. It's like magic every time. Here is RFK with his brainworm. Going off on the CNN anchor. It's so hard to understand him sometimes, though. When he gets irate, like it really gets, it's more difficult. But he goes off, and let's go play this clip here.
You are the HHS secretary, and you are talking about things that lead to vaccine hesitancy in this country, and it is something that causes problems for people when there is not anything.
Let me ask you something. Do you see your job as ending vaccine hesitancy, or do you see your job as telling the truth to the American people?
I see my job as telling the truth, and the truth is that there is study after study after study. It's one of the most studied things out there in science.
You're repeating
and it
it
is
like a parrot. You're repeating
So are
it
you.
like a parrot.
So
I've actually read the science. Let's you
don't
and I
wanna-
come
you don't
back
wanna-
here and debate the
So
science.
I'm not debating this with you.
Of course you won't.
No, because I'm not
all
debating
you know how
all-
to do is repeat things that people told you and say, trust the experts. That's what you did during COVID. Now we know that Anthony Fauci, who was the expert, was lying about everything, about masks, about social distancing, about natural immunity, about the transmission from the vaccine, about the source of COVID. He was lying, and you were punishing people for not trusting the experts. And now you're rolling out the experts again.
Yes.
To talk about something that you have no personal knowledge of.
Okay, well, guess what? That is my job, to talk to people.
Your job is to
Am I
tell the
allowed to
truth
talk?
to the American
Yes,
public.
yes. And my job
And
is
to
to
be-
get as
and
much
to-
information as I
And
can.
to maintain
what we were doing,
a posture
what we were
of
doing,
fierce skepticism
what we
toward
were
government
doing
authority.
in COVID, and
He just can't win. He can't. I feel like he's about to have a heart attack there. Just in this debate, like he just can't win without in a debate, in a screaming match. You have to have a voice, right? And like, his voice is obviously crippled by whatever he's got going on with him, but she's just calmly talking and speaking louder than him. I mean, he's sitting here with his arms in the air and he's trying everything he can to get it out with everything. And it's like, dude, I think he's gonna have an aneurysm. like I mean, that's how I feel. He's struggling so hard. It's like, it's hard for me to watch sometimes with him, but let's go to Anthony Fauci. Is arrest Fauci in the house tonight? In the house tonight. Shout out to either way. But we have Fauci, if you guys don't know, took to a hearing, and he pled the fifth 111 times. People clowning him all over the place, and rightfully so. But as I stated in that, what's happened is if he wants to try to plead the fifth and have all these lawyers, it was made clear that the Biden pardon that he received pardons him on a federal level from federal prosecution, but it does not protect him at all from state prosecution. Rather interesting, right? And when you got a state that, all right, I see you there, brother. When you've got a state that is willing to pursue him, things get interesting. And here we go. We got the Louisiana AG announcing an investigation into Fauci. So here we go. And all they're going to have to do is go down the route here. You know what's crazy is even Deborah Birx today on social media threw him under the bus. It was crazy. It's really coming down on him. I also see some people running up on him outside of his house, and he took off to his front door. Like, they're definitely making it uncomfortable for him. Let's go to New York, NYC, and see how the socialism is working out for him up there. There's socialism utopia, where you have to have an ID to buy government bread and milk, but not to vote. An ID required to shovel snow, but not to vote. Dude, this is a laughing stock of the world right now. What's going on here? It's ridiculous. I don't know what New Yorkers have done up here in allowing this, but they did. Rigged, not rigged, I don't know. Apparently they let it happen, and there's been no buck back. They've let it happen. Laid down. Where were the 9/11 families when he got elected in there? Where were any of you saying anything? Well, apparently now the 9/11 families want to show up, and they don't want him participating in their memorial ceremony. But he's going to show up anyway, because he can, and he will, just to piss them off. And like, this is all garbage. It's disrespectful. It's all political. And like, y'all gonna stand for this? You're gonna stand for this? That's the question. You are gonna stand for this, huh? You gonna wait him out 4 years like everybody did through Biden? Huh? Ain't you learned this whole thing is a puppet show? The establishment runs the left, right paradigm, both sides. You're trapped until you figure that out. They're playing you one way or another. Yeah. People hear that and always want to say, well, you got to be for the right because the left does that, blah, blah, blah. No. You could still be this and that. You ain't got to fall. You ain't got to fall into the left-right paradigm. That's ridiculous. There's no excuse for it. The left can do what they do. The right do what they do, whatever. They can put labels on whatever. You do not have to subject yourself to it and put yourself in it and all that. You just don't. We figured it out, man. You got some people like, yo, we figured this whole thing out, man. Like, you should probably listen or spend more years of your life wasting time. And then down the road, like, man, maybe I should have listened to him back then. Like this dude, Nick Shirley. He surely is part of the Zionist agenda because he's blasted everywhere. He's in the feeds. You won't find me on the X feed over there. I'm so censored. And in the dungeon, so to speak. Shadow banned from hell and back and all that good stuff. But you'll see Nick Shirley shared by all the shills and all this stuff and everyone and their mama left and right. And you'll also see him in pictures rubbing elbows with who? Howard Lutnick? Yeah. Pedo protectors? Yeah. You see how that works? Yeah, you see how all that works there. All the guys running with the pedo protectors get all the showtime, get all the airtime, get all the shares, all the likes, all the views, all the attention. Right? All day long. Every little story picked up, all the shield outlets and everything. And Shirley is one of them. Again, when I seen him in the pictures with Howard Lutnick smiling, just them two, says it all. You know what circle he runs in. You know who controls him. And he is not your friend. Okay? Go ahead. Trust him. Do it. Go ahead. Trust people that run and rub elbows, literally, with pedos. Pedo protectors. Go ahead. That's on you. The Spanish invaders out here. This is the next one. Another one that you can tell that they're using the people as a weapon. Trump kind of signaled this. So did BB. So did BB's son. Even tweeted it out. Threats that they should go and invade Spain. And just so people know, these two towns, these two areas that were overran by migrants, they are on the northern part of Africa, mainland, the continent. It's not across the water on mainland Spain. It's actually in North Africa, right on the coast. They are autonomous zones, like zones controlled by Spain. And there's like gates and fences separating the areas. And as I showed in the last clip, a Moroccan soldier just opened up the gate and let them all in. Just let them all go. Then there were clips showing that a bunch of them went back home. Like they said, like 40,000 of them out of the 50,000. I don't know about that. A bunch of them did go back. But what this shows is like on a whim, they could just get 40,000 cats up and to go run into this area and cause chaos and then come back home. Just that quick. Some of the people, the guys that are caught in these images, are popular and famous. One's a popular bodybuilding live streamer out of Morocco, and he was caught in some of the main clips. And he just got involved in it just to go, because it was like a cool thing everyone was doing over there. Just go storm the place. Like they weren't going to get in trouble for it. Their government was pushing them to do it. and they could always just go right back home. Walk right back home. So that's what a bunch of them did. They came back. They're like, well, it was boring anyway. Like, there's nothing over there, nothing to do. They were just walking around. All they had to do was cause chaos, rip the place apart, which is what some did. It just shows that the people are being weaponized en masse these days, openly. So let's jump into Iran real quick and let's get the lowdown here. We've got Trump saying Iran faces decapitation strikes if it does not sign a good deal. He also says that he stopped the most recent phase of strikes, which would have been bigger strikes, the biggest strikes the world has seen since the end of World War II, which everyone's saying there has to be nukes. It has to be nukes. It has to be nukes. That's the only reference, the only reason. That was the big thing, the end of World War II, nukes. And, so that they're not going to give up your nuclear components. You're going to turn around and nuke innocent people and do the exact thing that you said that they were going to do. Like this guy, like this whole administration, it's out of control here with this war. And I think it's going to go bad. I think it's going to go into major conflict here. Another round is coming. We got a shift coming in the stars here. And for sure, they're going to take advantage of it. And the blowback at some point is major. Look, we're hitting their infrastructure. We've already started to hit the water infrastructure. And look what's happening here. All of a sudden, in the past week, since we've been doing it, what's been going on? 8 states that we know of has had their water infrastructure attacked. And hacking is like, that's the big dog thing that Iran's known for. Okay? Just think about these things, man. And the weapons do not have to be nuclear like the days of old. They can use way more compact suitcase type, miniature type of low yield things that still have a nuclear component, but doesn't have nowhere near the fallout and the blowback and all that, the damage done, as we've seen with the mushroom clouds out of World War II, Nagasaki, Hiroshima. They could literally drop a couple tacticals and just hit a couple key places, clear out a couple square blocks in the city, which is what I think that Russia's going to ultimately do in Kiev. Someone is going to do it somewhere. You watch. Or Kiev's going to do it to Moscow, something. That front needs to be finished, because if not, it's going to be bad. Zelensky says they want to seek an end to the war by winter. Yeah, right. I'll believe it when I see it, but like, there's a tap going left and right. If you don't know, this is Wildberries, another location up in flames, big time. And what is Wildberries? Wildberries is the Russian name. So the equivalent is big time. These attacks just spreading all over. And also in Moscow, you have a female bomber that they're labeling this a terroristic bombing. Kills at least 3 people, injures 21 in an upscale Moscow restaurant. So like a bomber comes in there and explodes and takes people out. Like, the stuff ramping up. Then a kamikaze drone slams into a crowded Russian Black Sea beach. Like, just normal, everyday citizens now. Like, you're not even safe in Moscow no more. It used to be the war raged forever, and like, people in Moscow wouldn't have had to have thought about it. But then all of a sudden the drones came, and then it's never stopped. And now, kamikaze drone hits a beach, killing 3 people just right there in the open. People trying to enjoy the beach, just flies in. An everyday thing now. An everyday thing. And I want to point out something about this whole war game, Saudi Arabia, Hormuz, the oil, and one key factor that you should never forget, and you should always watch. Saudi Arabia and us, our relationship, is critical. The day, and they flirted with this before. They kind of threatened it a little bit. They were like, they were going to set up some kind of deal where they were going to start trading in something other than the petrodollar. And they were going to start like the petro yuan or, all this other stuff. Well, they have agreed, obviously, through Bretton Woods and all this other stuff, to do the petrodollar, which is backing the US dollar with oil and all contracts, which is how the whole world works. That is the leverage that Saudi Arabia has over our country, the biggest. They are also serving as the core of Islamic NATO, so to speak. Okay, and they also purchase billions of dollars in American weapons and invest hundreds of billions of dollars into the US, period. They themselves prevent the rise of the petro yuan. So it says right there, the Chinese trying to come in and strike up, a deal and go the other way. So the moment that ever breaks in history, like the dollar is definitely dead. It's crushed. But this is one of the staples, one of the things that keeps it anchored into a global economy is that fact. Just don't never forget it. Things go sour between us, whatever administration, and like Saudi Arabia, it could be the very next administration because it's a setup and meant to go that way. Newsom having a fallout with them, whatever. They can go with the petro yuan, and that will crush our entire system. And maybe it was set up that way, meant to be. I mean, it seems that way anyway. That's what they want to do. So why not? Why not do just that, what I just said? It's too easy for them these days. And as McGlinchey says here, Trump's damage to U.S. diplomacy could last an entire generation. Yeah. And it's like all the damage done, everything going on here. Like he ran his first run on a whole different look. And it was all set up to get to this point. Every bit of it. I've said it before. The whole Biden regime thing, it was all set up. They had to have Biden in there to let in migrants. And they had to do all that just to be able to have ICE teams, grown men, going across the country, rounding up people. They had to have an excuse for that. And the only way to get it was the migrants. And the only way to have that was to have the whole Biden thing. Period. And they did it. And right now, it shows you under Trump right now, our southern border is so locked down cold and so tight right now for the most part. Like they could have done this the entire time. But when Obama came in, he started taking down all of our stuff. I remember, man. We have these big old blimps that are down protecting our border. He took them down. He took down all of these fortifications, the towers, all the stuff, and like left it wide open. And then Biden stepped up and told people that all they have to do was this or that, and they could get right on it into America. He literally went down to South America, Central America, said this, and they were riding in on train tops into this country. I reported on it. They started coming in droves. They set the whole thing up. It's all a scam. So they put the whole thing into motion. But without that whole thing, you have no excuse for rolling out ICE. You have no excuse for rounding up people in this country. And it's a critical aspect to where this goes for them. It also gives them an excuse, like I said on the last stream, to roll out brand new facilities. And you have to ask why. They're already building a ton down on the border. And I asked why then. Why? You're kicking them out of the country. Do not house them nowhere. We'll cover the gas money, ship their ass down to the border, kick their ass out onto the other side of the border. And our troops now sitting there with guns and a secure border to not let them back in, boot their ass out, and be done with it. Why pay a dime more for anything else? Why build a facility to house them and feed them and pay for the electric and the air conditioning and all this? Why do it? Why come out and have a plan to do it in multiple states? Pick them up from wherever they're at and drive them down to the border and kick their ass out. It's over then. The whole thing's done. Simple as that. But no. They want to build these massive detention centers, complexes, FEMA camps, if you will. This is all the stuff of conspiracy theory, remember? It's all conspiracy talk in my ass. Everything from Gray State that he warned you about, fast forward, we're there. We're there under your chump president. Palantir, flock camera, everything rolling out in this country on his watch. Oh, yeah. Mr. Warp Speed going into overdrive. Here with this, with all this stuff, all this nightmare stuff on his watch. Okay, so the wars, people didn't vote for wars, you know. And I don't hate anyone out there that voted for Trump over Biden because people are still just waking up. There's nothing to hate. But you have to snap out of it at some point. Left-right paradigm, realize what this is. They're controlling all this. And it goes way deeper than this. They're controlling all of it for energy. Okay? And this is the last thing. If I can come back, I'll come back around to that energy point here in just a second. This right here is key. Defend Israel or the homeland. A top U.S. general issues a stark warning to everybody in the Pentagon. This does not happen often. And he says that without one more Navy destroyer, meaning that if we were to lose one right now, get sunk, whatever, we'd be smoked. We'd be in such bad shape. So he says that without another Navy destroyer, we will be forced to choose between defending our U.S. homeland or defending Israel. Flat out. This is not about having enough missiles, running out of missiles. Yeah, we are. No, we're not. We got plenty. No, we don't. All this back and forth crap. This is the guy stepping up and saying, look, we don't even have the assets spread out and even in the region correctly to cover our ass, to cover our tail. And something's got to be done. It's a huge red flag here. And as far as I could tell, you know, they're going right on down this path with letting Israel do whatever they want. And I don't know if it's ever going to end. I don't know where it's going to end. How the only way that I see this ending is all right, here we go. I see it ending the way that the Bible says. You ain't even get biblical, but I think it's fair. Because what's the Bible say? It says that Israel gets rocked. Not one stone left unturned. It gets wiped. It's hammered. Well, I say that's exactly what happens. And if you paid attention to the last exchange of hypersonics and everything, they couldn't. Israel could not stop Iran. They ate too many. Tel Aviv took too many big hits, and they stopped. In this last round, Israel sat out the entire round. They did not participate the entire time and even admitted it and said, we don't need to. We're going to sit on the sideline. It's like, hold on, we're in this war because of you fools. And you're just sitting over there recalibrating, doing whatever, resting, like doing your nails. I don't know. And we're over here, soldiers dying, bases getting pounded, all of our material resources getting wiped out in the region, left and right. Amazon places getting hit, bases getting hit, soldiers dying. Israel's just sitting over there. Like, I'm just gonna set this one out for a second. Like, what? Like, I don't think so. But this general, is like, look, man, you gotta get with it. Like, this isn't a fantasy anymore. Like, we're in a weird position. Heck, Seth runs around like something stick up his ass all the time, and like he's Mr. Just I can't stand that guy. I can't stand none of these characters. It's so fake, but he doesn't resonate with none of the top brass in real terms. He just puts on a show, just like most of the characters do. But when these other real deal daily generals that are out in the front line dealing with this stuff are making these statements, I think it's worth paying attention to, because it's a big red flag here, man. At the end of the day, this all comes down to energy. Okay? Everything is energy. It just, in so many ways, it's energy. This whole war to be fought over energy, whether it's over the oil aspect, anything like that, it's energy. Okay? And, what's a bomb? A bomb detonating, going off is like the splitting of atoms. It's energy. Everything is energy. What are we? What are else? We're energy. Everything is energy. So, close this down. Where we at here? All right. I guess I'll go into some final thoughts here on all of this. And if you guys missed the amazing rainbow I caught outside, wow. Craziest, most amazing one ever. And I just had a vision. I was going to go outside and record a walking video. And I looked out and I heard and I seen a whole sheet of rain coming at me. I could hear it hitting all the trees out there, like coming my way. And I was like, oh, well, I guess I'm not going out there. I sat down, and for whatever reason, I had I had a vision, quick vision just like that into my mind. And it was of all kinds. It was like an image. It was an image of all kinds of rainbows, like all around me, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like all the way around me. Like, just that quick. It made no sense. It just happened. And I was like, whatever. Get off. It's a couple moments later, man. I lean over and I look out this freaking window. And I guess the sun came out when that rainstorm just went by, and I seen this. And I lost it. I was like, oh my God. I mean, you can see so much definition. Matter of fact, it's even a double bow. There's another bow way above it. But in heat of the moment, like I've seen out my window and got a screen there. So I ran all the way out back to where I could get outside to see it clearly. And there it was, man, all of its glory. Like all the color popping, everything. It was crazy because I was above the rainbow. I was above it, visually above the peak of it. It was nuts. It never been from that perspective. So I could see both the beginning over here. I could see both ends of the rainbow right there in front of me. The whole thing. It was only right there. It was all perspective though, because of the angle of the sun going down. Everything always is perspective, but it was awesome. Never seen one like that. Just watch the signs, man. All the helicopters I get buzzed with up here, and recently, it was good to have some kind of good sign, positive sign like this. So, all praise to the Most High in heaven. Home. That's for sure. See if I got a couple more things here on the feed real quick. Again, I got videos over here. You're only going to find, look at that missile. Look at this missile. Imagine just sitting outside cooking dinner in the evening. And this goes by. Like right up at treetop level. It's flying by like. I mean, wait till this country has to deal with that stuff. In all of it. Again, I got clips of the fires over here. And make sure that you're following me over here on X as well, because I know people got their, I don't know, people are picky. People like to mess with some social media sites and not others and all this other stuff. I try to put options out there. That's why tonight we're live multiple places. We are live tonight over on, let's see, where are we live tonight at? TikTok, Facebook, Rumble, YouTube is maybe the main four, I think. I think I removed X. But make sure that you follow me over there. I do load up the X to go live every now and then. Been trying to get a beat on who's censoring me the most, whether it's the restream or if it is YouTube itself or whatnot. I don't seem to have a ton of issues off of other platforms, so it makes me lean toward one place. Kind of throttled me. But check the chat here, man. Past top the hour here. Give some shout outs. Get some final thoughts here is what I'll do here. Take us out of here by 11:11. How about that? So we're all energy. And I can't stress it enough. You know, when you leave here and you leave the stream, you go on to the next stream or whatever it is you're doing. I just want you to remember, I want you to start being the observer, the quiet observer of things. If you can, anytime a situation arises, I want you to not initially react to it if you can, because you'll learn in the end that this is the key. You'll stop feeding it energy. Next time, for whatever reason, say you're sitting there and your significant other comes in, says something, kind of takes you off or this and that, and like, or whatever. A situation arises. Instead of casting a response immediately, I'm trying to get you to take a step back in the moment. And I want you, if you can only step back in that moment and realize that something just caused this, that is the key. If you can fall back into the space where you can observe and you can see the manipulation that's happening and detach yourself from it, this is where you gain all the power. Okay? So when all these situations, stressful, situations, things arise, sometimes, every situation is different. You get pulled into things, but the more you master this, you master the whole thing. And it can't affect you in ways that it was. It can't bring you down, can't drain you, can't do all these things. And there's more going on than what you think. Super stressful situations, you think to yourself, oh, it's draining me and this, that. Well, there's a reason you're saying that. There's a reason that it is, that it feels that way. There's a reason because you are getting sucked on like a fucking leech. You are food. You are loose energy that these beings are feeding off of. And don't laugh it off. Don't be like, this and that. It's the truth. They're here. It's written, and it's what's happening. And they are given the power to give the person in the other room the thought that might have just came in the room and set you off and set this whole thing. And now that you have the eyes to see it, you can know it. So the next time something comes to ruffle your feathers, you can see it and you can be like, aha, not today. And you can master it. Do you understand? This is the same thing with seeking the silence within and going within. It's all about the same thing. Mastering this place and energy. Now watch. When you do this, it's not just no kumbaya and all this crap. When you do this, you literally sever the cord to this reptile or this jinn, whatever is vamping off you, feeding off you. You stop feeding it. And when you stop feeding it, you can't suck in your eye. It detaches. And when it knows you know it's there, it also detaches. They connect to you just like a cord. Just like a cord. Just like there's an umbilical cord. Just like your soul is connected to the silver cord. These cords are real. And the longer that you ignore them, the longer you go not figuring this realm and this life out. The quicker you do, the more you'll understand. This place is a bunch of witches and warlocks casting spells on the Goyim that know nothing of it. And they have a field day doing it. And you can get hip to it. And you can break the spell. And you can rise above it and you can master it all. Or you can be a victim to it. You can be fed on every day. Or you can master it. You cut the cord. By default. You have a power. You have so much power. It's time to start mastering it. Okay? And knowing is half the battle, is it not? You've always been hinted and told that. Yes, it is. Knowledge is key. And knowing that these things are there, knowing what they're doing when they've been hidden right outside of your visual perception this entire time, knowing is everything. So, all praise to the Most High. Always. Did I already run past? No, I didn't. Like I said, I already run past 11:11. All right, man. Look, I'm going to leave you on that tonight. Because that's the important message. The self-mastery is real. It's not no crap. It's actually the whole reason for all this. And I believe you're going to get regurgitated until you figure this out. And you don't want that to happen. You're this close. I can't tell you where you're going to be born in the next life. What kind of realm, what kind of chance you're even going to have for knowledge. Is there going to be an internet? Is there going to be anything in your next? Is there going to be any chance to get this knowledge? I don't know. And to be honest with you, I'm not looking to cycle back in this place at all. At all. But it has consequence. This place is made for a reason. It's the material world. You need to master it. And I look to try to master it, and I hope you do too. I guess is the big thing while you're here. I mean, it's just like failing class. Who wants to fail class and have to go back through? I spend a lot of my off time following and listening to all and reading all the things pertaining to what Jesus said and what he said about getting out of here. And it's changed me so much because everything I've told you, it's all based on this. I mean, there is a way out. I wish you luck. If you seek it, you will find. And a much love. Thank you, Pure Bloods. All you guys. For everything. Much love. God bless. Thank you for all the support, sharing the stream, all the chats, super chats, coffees, PayPals, all of it, all the love, prayers. And we'll take us out of here. There's Jay Winch. A lot of people say keep it going. Hey, Jay Winch, much love. A lot of people say keep it going. All right, hold on. All right, hold on. Hold on. Am I getting requests to keep the stream going? I actually stopped the end of the stream, stopped the music, everything. I mean, if that's the case, I mean, I'm just gonna let me get a chat check real quick. Call tonight or keep it going. Oh, we got. Thank you for another great live stream. Thank you for all you do. Much love and prayers. Thank you, Deanne, for everything. I mean, just so much, everything. All right. Well, we got a bunch that bailed. So I guess all I can do is speak on this tip. I mean, I don't even know. It's kind of odd. It's kind of weird. That's the first time ever I've been shutting down the stream and just stopped it and decided, yeah, you know what? I think we'll keep going because 11/11. Much love. 11/11 here. 9/11 somewhere. Did right, Justin? Well, I don't know, some people. I'm just reading chat. For everybody bouncing, good night. I will. Since you asked for it, I'm going to deliver here. I'm going to elaborate on a couple deep things, then, because I feel like this is what your soul is asking for. I'm just going to give it to you like this. I think it's key that you understand the energy that you give off and give out, and that you put out there, the frequency that you put out. It's key. All this is key. It's not just some mumbo jumbo. It's real. Frequency is key to everything. So, in remembering this, I want you to realize that every single time you think of something and that you put energy out there, put emotion behind something, you're setting off a signal. You're setting off a frequency. You know, whatever you're operating in on a daily basis. Maybe you're in a bad place. Raise that vibration, raise your vibe. You know what I'm saying? Well, you do not want to be giving off the energy and the frequency of lack. Or you're going to get that. Now, maybe you'll start to understand how this place works. You're going to get back whatever you resonate with. And whether you know it or not, has anyone out there been trying to make prayers? And thank you, Jay Winch. Ends with the lights, that song. All right, there we go. Anybody felt like, because I was talking to somebody here recently and they said this, good friend, was even here tonight, said, you know, I was struggling with the same thing here recently, that with prayer, because we all say prayer all the time. Some people, the whole thing is like, if you ever made prayers and just felt like it's not hitting or sticking or making or being heard or being heard. Dude, what in the mother is this? Hold on a second. Dude. Man, I tell you what, I'm sorry. But like this is crazy. You guys remember the shot I showed you earlier here? That I can actually show you real quick here. Makes sense of what I'm about to tell you. And I'll finish up with what I was going to say here. All right. This image right here, out my window, see between these two trees, like just to the left of this tree, there's a spot like you can't even like hardly see, and like it's all trees. Well, the moon is coming up like right there, and like it just totally blew me away. It was like a light. I'm like, hold on, why am I looking out? It's dark when there's a light like pointing right at me. It's the moon. So that's why I'm looking right out, straight out at it, like right there. But okay. Sorry. So for those of you that were listening to what I was saying here about putting off the frequency, when you're putting out and you're asking, you're begging, I know it's going to seem hard at first. Everything's difficult at first. But this is why I try to tell you, you got to switch everything that you're doing out there. Like you can't say that, in much love, Rick, you got to stop saying, I'm sick of this. I'm sick of that. You know, for an example, you got to stop saying negative things because you might be sick or ailing. And it's because you're out there always saying, I'm sick of this. I'm sick of that. You're actually saying it. You're speaking it into existence. People that say, I can't do that. I'll never do that. Like, you should never say those things. You should never say anything that's bad because your power is in speaking everything into existence. The Bible shows you this in like a textbook way to like a child, that God himself, you're made in the image of God. God spoke everything into existence. So do you. Okay? But it's more than just speaking. Every thought is explosive and you give off energy in waves. Do you understand? This is real. And if you want to stay stuck in a mode, you will stay stuck there, constantly getting back what you're putting out. Okay? So, you want to know why the book of Mary was stripped from the Bible? Book of Judah, the book of Jubilees, these key books, Philip, Thomas, I go on and on about these key books that should be in your Bible that are not. It's because they talked about the true way out. And I think the book of Mary, I'll just hit on this, was the key here. She understood everything more than any disciple. But the church couldn't have that. And Jesus did not want a religion built upon him like that. That's not what it was about. He said it himself. And what did the males do? What did Peter do? The whole thing, the Vatican, the Rock of Peter was all built on that. And they outcasted Mary. They made her a prostitute. When she was the top dog, she was the one that understood more than anything out of Jesus' own mouth. She is the one that sat outside of the tomb and the first one to see him. And guess what it says? When she first looked, she didn't recognize him. Why would that be? Because of the transformation. But her pneumatic soul then resonated and seen and knew without a doubt it was him. Okay? Now he told her, you can't, that This is Jesus' exact words to her. You're not praying to God. It's above, up in the sky. He said this specifically. You're praying to what is within. What is within. And he said this over and over. And if you can't go inside and close the door behind you, if you cannot seek the kingdom of God within you, if you cannot take no thought for your life, his exact words, then you will never get this. I just told you 3 key phrases from the man, the Messiah's mouth himself, and if you just listen to them, you've got this. Or keep putting out the frequency of want, of need, that you don't have, of all that, and you'll keep receiving it. There's keys to this game. Pick them up and use them. And that's just the beginning, all right? Like I said before, if you seek, you will find. I'll take us out of here with that. I have to end on that. So, yeah. Look, it don't get any more solid than that. Like, yeah. Hey. Much love, everybody, man. Listen, I ain't giving you no kind of theory. I'm not giving you some backwoods crap. I'm hitting you with the Messiah's own words, his own statements. I hold them above any other scripture, any other passage, any other anything. You can't make no excuse. Listen to what he said. Do it. And there you go. It's just that simple. Hallelujah. Thank you, EC. Thank you so much. For real. Appreciate it. Thank you all for the love, for the shares. Super chats, coffees, prayers. Much love, y'all. It seems the establishment is again telegraphing lights out. One of the most recent warnings was the World Economic Forum warning of this lights out event, also dubbing this year the year of the polycrisis.
The signs in the skies that my ghetto space failing, extra solar flesh, CME's prevailing. We in the times when the truth's unveiling. You better catch up fast and stop trailing. The nailing the focus misdirecting nations. Flames and die resisting temptations. Only way to move is taking haven. Agenda 21's all about sustaining. The powers that be to continue reigning. So don't be mad when the MPs are raining. The days are numbered, I hear the seas wailing. So from here on in, it's strictly plain sailing. When the grid goes down, you better be ready. When the grid goes down, when the grid goes down, you better be ready. When the grid goes down, when the grid goes down, you better be ready. When the grid goes down, when the grid goes down, you better be ready. You better be ready.
And seeing more and more things like air glow, and this is all part of an increase in the sun's activity from these CMEs. The solar cycle 25, we're entering the peak a little ahead of schedule. We don't want to see a Carrington event happen this day and age.
Ready or not, so keep your eyes at the skies for the signs being shown. It's now time to prepare for when the power's gone. Is it Chinese spy blues we're being showered from, or Carrington 2.0 powered on? There's many scenarios for what records when the countdown clock reaches the final second. Russian super nukes use the threat, so they letting them off like coronal mass ejections. Science the weapon and choice they've chosen, like classic as a vice, stay cold and frozen. It's all lies, the world's not broken, but the countdown to 2030's not joking. When the grid goes down, you better be ready. When the grid goes down, when the grid goes down, you better be ready. When the grid goes down, when the grid goes down, you better be ready. When the grid goes down, when the grid goes down, you better be ready. You better be ready.
We now have the actor Dennis Quaid reading from the script, giving out this warning. And he says that the electric will go out up to 30 days. So that seems to be the window. They also state that people cannot survive without water, and that this too will shut down the water supply. How many people are paying attention?
Ready or not, pay attention, people, to the lies they spin. When the grid goes down, was it planned by kings? I demand I sling and a rock to swing. So show respect, it don't cost a thing. Like shots that ring, people look for cover. When shit is the fan, then people gon' suffer. The end's close, I can smell the sulfur. The grid's going down, one way or another.
Yeah, it's lights out like an EMP. Blood in the streets in the land of the free. It's all by design by the GOV. ERNMENT. Unless we're getting hit by CME, there's really no telling when the moment it's gonna be. From the time that the spark reject the mark, you better have a plan or get left in the dark. Yeah, from the time that the spark reject the mark, you better have a plan or get left in the dark.
When the grid goes down, you better be ready. When the grid goes down, when the grid goes down, you better be ready. When the grid goes down, when the grid goes down, you better be ready. When the grid goes down, when the grid goes down, you better be ready. You better be ready. Ready or not? Ready or not? Ready or not? Ready or not?
I spent a decade warning everybody about this event. We're on the doorstep of it. I'm warning you. They're telegraphing it again. So this is a repeated theme. Now they've got one of their Hollywood goons out here reading from the script, warning, lights out is coming. It's like we can't trust anything going on out there.
Ready or not?